Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life. Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life.
Guess I'm thinking too hard. Guess I'm thinking too much. I could put a bullet in my head. Guess that wouldn't mean much. Facing 99 problems. I don't even know how I got them. Think suicide's are the problem. That's the number one problem. They just hang themselves on the rope. Throw themselves off the road. Homie, I'm clinging to God. I was just clinging to hope. If you feeling all alone, nobody else even know. Feeling depressed on the phone, just wanna be on your own. Act too fake, too false. Always trying to be who you not. Brag about things you got. Homie, just turn to God. Voice in my head, they speak, saying do that, do this. Devil try to tell me I'm weak. Feel so hurt I can't sleep. Up all night when I end my life. Nothing bright, ran out of fight. Up all night when I end my life. Nothing bright, ran out of fight.
Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life. Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life.
Satan trying to take my light away. I cannot die today. Hope never been that far away. Putting up fire today. Don't need to cry, he'll make a way. I turn to God and I found a way. Look at my pain, it'll fade away and make it go away. Tried on my own, it didn't work. Gotta take a leap of faith. Gave it to God, trust in the word. He making no mistakes, straight to the mud, being in the dirt. He made me clean that day. He made me clean that day. He made me clean that day. Got my team, the YPG. They be supporting me. Eyes half dead, couldn't even breathe. They got me on my feet. Turn my life around, just be so proud. Flows my friend, I'm off the ground. I met God, he gave me the rebound. Wanted to die, but I gotta win now. Tell him free. Wait, just let me catch my breath. Homie, I'm free. Free from the thoughts of death. Just clean up my mess. Just put faith to the test. Just clean up my mess. Just put faith to the test.
Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life. Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life. Don't let Satan take away your life. Don't let Satan take away your life. Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life. Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life.
thinking too hard. Guess I'm thinking too much. I could put a bullet in my head. Guess that wouldn't mean much. Facing 99 problems. I don't even know how I got them. Think suicide's are the problem. That's the number one problem. They just hang themselves on the rope. Throw themselves off the road. Homie, I'm clinging to God. I was just clinging to hope. If you feeling all alone, nobody else even know. Feeling depressed on the phone, just wanna be on your own. Act too fake, too false. Always trying to be who you not. Brag about things you got. Homie, just turn to God. Voice in my head, they speak. Saying do that, do this. Devil try to tell me I'm weak. Feel so hurt I can't sleep. Up all night when I end my life. Nothing bright, ran out of fight. Up all night when I end my life. Nothing bright, ran out of fight.
Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life. Take the pain away and not your life. Just deal with the things that's trapped inside. Jesus always there by your side. Don't let Satan take away your life.
Saint trying to take my light away. I cannot die today.
Good afternoon, Hola YPG. We are here once again for a special hangout. We have a special edition of our hangout today. I'm not alone, as you know. Pastor
Hey,
Mike
what's
is
up,
here.
guys? We are here with a big number today. It's gonna be hot. Pastor Vladimir, Pastor Mac,
Is it YPG?
and our special guest, Bishop Marcelo.
I don't know why I'm called a special guest. Why am I a special guest?
Because Bishop, we build that hype, and then there's that one edition where we bring you in for that.
What? You bring with me. You bring you bring it down, not hyper. What's the other one? The hyper. The
Low.
low. You bring the low. You bring a babunculo in the youth group. So babunculo and two babunculo. But good afternoon anyway. I'm here. You can count on me.
All right. So we have a couple
But
of.
anyway, why did you bring me here for? Because I was told to come here 30 minutes ago.
Bishop, there were quite a few requests for you to come.
Last week they were
One,
commenting.
2,
No,
3
Bishop.
requests.
Last week we actually have a lot of comments
Yes,
of
Bishop.
young people.
How many requests? 1, 2. A lot of requests.
They were asking for Bishop to be with us today. Some of them they'll be sending their questions, and also our YPG Hangout today it's the void.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes. So do you have the first request?
Just before we talk about the hangout, just before we go to that, there is something that I'm going to ask Vinicius to play for us. It's called Know Yourself. Obviously, it's a game. I'm gonna play with colors here. It's a game, and I want you to pay attention to the questions and memorize the color. There'll be 2 dots there on the question, either yellow or red. I want you to memorize the color and keep the color either yellow or red. I don't know if Vinicius has it read there. He can play Know Yourself. Put the first slide there, please. Put the first. It's a yellow poster, and he'll be sliding it, please. Put it there. Know Yourself. It's already there?
Yes.
Know Yourself. That's it. Choose the option that you mostly identify yourself with. Do not forget to memorize the color. First one. I prefer to be told the truth. Yellow, always ready. Yes, but take it easy. The second one. Yeah, you can slide it there, please.
Next
Did
one
it?
is there. Yes.
Yeah, you can slide it. Read that for us, Pastor John.
I don't have the
Yeah.
other one. Okay, what is it?
I prefer
to say what happened for yellow, and to invent, or to add a young spice here and there. That's for the red one.
and the third one. You can read that.
Okay, I am 100% truthful in this case. That's for yellow. And I am the truth. However, it depends. That's for the red
However,
dot. However.
it depends. Know yourself. When someone messes up with me, I calm down and try to solve the issue, or I explode. That's for the red one.
Okay. We have another one.
Know yourself.
I am rational. That's yellow. Or I am dramatic. That's red.
And the next one, know yourself. At this point, I care more about improving who I am for yellow, or blaming someone, blame for others for red. The last one, that's the which color?
Which color did you choose the most, and what did you discover about yourself?
There are a lot of young people that when we talk about the void, or saying that a lot of people, they are void, they're empty inside, they may think that that's not for them. But here's the point. The void in them, inside of them, that reflects, if I can put the word reflects, an image on the outside that shows the way they behave on the outside. That's why we have sometimes and some young ladies that they they like to show what they're not supposed, they like to dress in different. That has to do with the void inside of them. So the point is the void, the void, the theme of today, it reflects on the outside. That's why we had this little game there. I don't know.
You are speaking too fast.
Yes, Bishop.
And I'm trying to make sense of everything you say. I'm sorry, but I want to understand the territory I've stepped in here.
Yes.
And you said that there are ladies who dress differently. You didn't finish that. My mind is still back then the beginning of the dots, the yellow, the red. What did you mean by the? Can you repeat the phrase, because I'm lost. What did you say?
Yes, Bishop. I was just
Speak low, slow.
yes,
Yeah,
giving an example.
breathing. Amen. You like this one? I have to bring him to a zen. Okay. You see, you bring me here, then you become nervous. That's probably what is.
Just speaking fast.
Yeah, just slow down. What do you? How do you relate the way of dressing with being devoid? Can you repeat that phrase? I'm not sure I understood.
Bishop, there are young ladies, as an example I mentioned, that due to the void inside of them, they dress in different ways in order to call attention.
Okay.
I think I missed that point of calling attention.
All right.
So they go on social media, posting pictures. When they go out of their houses, by the way, some of them inside of their house, they are someone else to their family. Mm-hmm. But outside, they actually reflect the true image they have, or the true image of their life, due to the void inside of them.
Okay, now I understood. Okay, now you can proceed. Go on.
So we have a lot of different groups. We have been talking about this in the YPG Hangouts, like the one who tries to fit in a different group, trying to be popular. Again, has to do with the void inside of them. So young people today, they have this different behavior, and that has to do with the void inside of them.
Yes, when we look at the general trends and behaviors of young people nowadays, they seem extremely taboo. They seem extremely weird. Why is it weird? Because they go to the extreme of, as the pastor said, fitting in. It's not because they want to do that, but it's mainly because they want the pleasure of having others to accept them. So just carrying on in the same course of, for example, a girl who will dress indecent, she will dress in a way which draws a lot of attention of boys. Very often we find young ladies who will post a picture and she wants a lot of comments. The other day I saw a post of a lady where she was like, I need your comments. She posted a picture of herself and saying, I need your comments. So we can clearly see signs of someone who's void, someone who's empty, because in order for her to feel that, that sense of appreciation, she needs those comments, she needs those likes, she needs those thumbs up for others to, fill that gap that perhaps is missing because perhaps you never had the attention at home from family. Something perhaps is missing, perhaps, I don't know, rejection. Something is missing, which is that void, that hole. And usually, Bishop, young people, they're always in search of filling that hole, that void, in things which it's like they need to go to the east, but they're going to the west. They need to go north, but they're going south. They're going the very opposite. Most probably because some of these things bring to them temporary joy, like drinking alcohol for those who have been under the influence of alcohol. In those minutes of joy, of being at a party, in the moment of having sexual pleasure with a guy or with a girl, in those moments. But it seemingly covers that gap, covers that void for a couple of minutes or a couple of hours, but thereafter the person has to face the reality. And here's where many people end up in the situation of depression, in the situation of being suicidal, because the more they search, they're in that pursuit of happiness. It's like the further they are from actually filling that void, that gap.
Yeah, that's why we brought this theme of today, the void. I see here, Rebecca says, I chose the yellow color the most, and I see that I have become a better person than who I was in the past. I want to set a challenge to the YPG. You say you chose yellow. Let's have an experience of you who chose red. And I want the guys as well to share their experience, because I hear we speaking about the ladies, but we guys as well have a moment where we have a void. And I want to see from all the comments here, you who chose...
When you say we, you are including me also.
No.
I said we.
Yeah.
We.
Yes, Bishop.
But let me jump in. Let me jump in here. I don't know if you can hear. Hello? I'm just kidding. Do you know where void comes from?
You mean the word or just void in general, Bishop?
He's just trying to buy time. Do you know where void comes from?
Not actually. Yes.
Where?
Your inner self. Emptiness.
Babankulu.
From your inner self.
Void. It started right there at the Garden of Eden. The void came to exist the day Adam and Eve lost God's nature. Everybody has this gap. Look at me here. Void is like this. Here, right here, you feel pain here. You see where my hand is? I hope you can see that. Where my hand is, here, right here. It's between your stomach and your chest. You feel something deep, it's sharp. It goes inside. And to get rid of this, we are going to react in different ways. People have a lot of money, they are going to travel, they are going to buy things, they'll buy clothes, they'll look for something that excites them, that makes this here, this pain here. It's a type of pain. It doesn't ache to the point of needing a painkiller. But many, to get rid of this here, this feeling, this right here, did you ever feel it?
I think yes.
Here, it's right here. It's sadness. Sadness you don't feel in your brain. Fear you don't feel in your brain. Did you know that? When you are afraid, do you feel pain in your stomach or headache?
Heartbeats.
It's here in the stomach.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
Doctors say that our stomach is our second brain. If for example, you are walking in the jungle and a lion chases you, you're going to feel what? Stomach or head? Stomach. When you're afraid, you feel that thing here in your stomach. So right here in the middle, there is the void. Everybody has this. Every child is born of that. So to feel that, people are going to do crazy stuff. Ladies with very round thighs, they are going to wear mini skirts because they want people to see they have beautiful legs, and they are going to say, wow. What is the word, chick? Chick.
Yes.
Chick.
What a lovely
Look
fly.
at the lovely.
She's a fly chick.
She's a fly chick. And that will fill the gap for a short period of time. Okay? So people are going to do what money can afford, anything. They are going to go everywhere, and they keep on filling that gap again and again and again. And that gap, or the void, it's like a hole, a big hole that never fills in, never fills out. Fills out?
Fills up.
Fills up. Never, no matter what. And that's why people resort to crazy stuff, drugs, sex. And guess what? Those of you who had sex, but crazy sex, sex in school, sex in the beach, sex in one day, my girlfriend, we had sex in her house, in her room. There was no door. We were having sex in her bedroom, a bedroom that she was sharing with two brothers. They were sitting in the living room, two brothers, her father and her mother. But, and she's the one who wanted that because she wanted to go to school and compete with her friends who had the craziest story to tell. I was being used. I was using her too because I was satisfying myself. I don't know if she was satisfying herself, but I was. And she was just satisfying the pride of going to school and say, I had sex with my boyfriend in my house with my father and my mother 1 meter away, if you know what I mean, to live a dangerous life. But guess what? I was unhappy. She was unhappy. So much so that we didn't get married, if you know what I mean. So people who live with a gap, they do things that are very foolish. At that time, you guys were saying here the other day, I think it was last program, that there are people having sex, taking pictures in nudity and this stuff. And with these platforms, these pictures, they go everywhere. Tomorrow, the child is going to be in school and someone will say, look here, your mother. Now, you said the other day, very strong, very deep. So people with gaps, they are very inconsequent. Very inconsequent. What does inconsequent mean? You don't measure the consequence of your action. So we take a decision based here, right here. We don't consider it tomorrow. So everybody has this gap. While God is missing their lives, and I know I'm being too Christian now, and people who don't come to church, they don't like this conversation of church, of like, can sound like Bible bashing, but it's a fact. One day was I think it was less than 1 year married, and I was driving home. My mother-in-law was in the car with me, my wife, And we were having, it was a February, I think, 1992. 1992, we were having the carnival. And then I drove through a street that they were having carnival. You have no idea what carnival is. Maybe you have, but it's crazy. You know, it's insane because people get naked. They have sex in public, in the club. It's insane. And then I was driving through this road, and this group of guys came, and there was one who was on his underwear kind of thing. And then he sat on the bonnet of the car, and he was dancing there, almost naked. Then I signed to him, and I called him, and I said, you know what? Everything that you are doing now, I did before. And guess what? Didn't work. As soon as this music is over, you're going to go back to your nature of being sad again. You needed to see. He went like flat. He just died down. He was looking at me and he just went like pale. Pale?
Yes.
Like?
Yes.
And said, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. But there are many of you out there as well. You wear the bandana, you wear the t-shirt, and you go, let's go, YPG, YPG. But you just changed the environment. You're no longer smoking, you are no longer doing drugs, hopefully not. You are no longer going to this hip-hop thing. But now you come to the YPG to dance and to, go crazy. But when you go home, you go back to be this little sad person that you are. Because the gap is there. What is missing? God. That's it. Because to have a void means what? Something is missing. But guess what? There are lots of things missing in my life that I would like to have that I don't have, that I would like to do and I'm not doing. But I don't have the void in me. Because God is in my life. And that happens to everybody. It's a fact. It's a fact. So whether you like it or not, whether you are a religious person or not, atheists, they accuse us of inciting fear to control people. Okay, atheists, people who don't believe in God, they really trash us because when we talk about salvation, we talk about our lives with God, that we are putting fear in people. You're going to hell type of thing, and you have to come and be converted, otherwise you're going to burn. Look at that fire there. You're going to burn there. That's not it. We just sharing with people the word which changed our lives. Whether you agree or you disagree, that's a different story. But whoever you are watching us right now, you have inside of you that pain. It feels like an open hole here, right here. That gap or the void or depression, you give the name you want. That means you are devoid of God's presence. When God comes upon you, you are still going to lack things. You may lack money, you may lack this, you may lack the other, but you know what? You're going to love yourself. You're going to love yourself the way you are. If you have big breasts, small breasts, big bump, small bump, or no bump, or a lot of bump, if you have beautiful legs, none of these matters. None of these matters. If your nose is wide or thin or long or short, if your hair is kink or straight, none of this matters. Because God is inside of you, the void is no longer there. So we're going to talk, and we're going to read the dots, the yellow, Today is yellow and red. Tomorrow is going to be purple and green. But the subject goes like this, like a merry-go-round. We go to the same point. Without God, we are nothing. Zero. One day, I have many stories. One day, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I stepped on a witchcraft or what. I don't know. But I was 14 years old. Listen to this. Listen to this. I was 14 years old. Every girl that I would see in front of me, I would fall in love with her. Without knowing even their name or ever heard their voice. Even if a dog, a female dog, would pass in front of me, I would fall in love with that dog. And then I decided to jump in the world. And then I made friends. I went to nightclubs. I was 14 years old. 14 years old. Some of you are 14 years old, you are washing your mom to wash the dishes. I used to do that too, but I would go to nightclubs. And then I decided I need to have a girlfriend. The void was big like this. Bigger than my head. And then I saw a lady. Today when I close my eyes and I see her in front of me, she's ugly. But then, she was the most beautiful lady. Look at that. And then, I don't know how I approached to her, and then we were hugging. We were not kissing yet, and I wanted to kiss her. But she didn't want to kiss me. Then we went to a shop. We were just going where everybody meets. And then she stopped. Said, Marcelo, look, that doll. If I could have a doll. And I had money in my pocket. Because 14 years old, I was working. I had a job already. I had my wage. I had money. And I bought the doll for her. It costed my everything that I had. I bought her the doll. It was a Snoopy. I remember, it was a Snoopy. You know Snoopy, the dog, the cutie, fluffy dog.
Yes.
You know the dog.
Yes, we should.
I bought the dog. I gave it to her. Then she kissed me here. I felt her lips, the wet here. And I wanted like to turn and kiss her in the lips. And she said, hey, you're too advanced. But I gave her the doll, like,
I expect a kiss.
at least.
Not for free.
Not for free.
No, at least. And even if I had, that kiss would be the most expensive kiss of my life, because, you know, my whole salary, that would be a lobola for a kiss. Watch. Then she was hugging me. She was, you know, I love you, but no kiss. Then she said, let us go to eat something. And I went, oops. Because now I spent all my money with the Snoopy. I went to the toilet. When I come back, I saw her kissing another guy.
Stina, bicho.
Huh?
Uma chapa de Stina, bicho.
Can you imagine how I felt? And I was looking at the Snoopy. She was holding the Snoopy that I gave to her, kissing someone else. Cozima only? Is there another word?
Stina, bicho.
Huh?
Stina is like the brick. Somebody hit you with the brick, bicho.
Someone hit me with the truck. I felt terrible. I felt terrible. And I felt like going there and say, give my Snoop. Because I wanted to give it back to get my money, because now I had no money. And I went to complain with her. And she said, oh no, he's just a friend. Boy, and me, what am I? a Snoopy giver. But that was what?
The void.
The void inside of me. I was craving for, I was hungry for love, for attention. And I did a lot of stupid things. That cursed doll, I spent I spent everything that I had. So you see, you were there and doing so much. Another thing that I used to do, another thing, perfume. I would get the bottle of perfume. I would do like this. My perfume would arrive 1 hour ahead of me. Before I arrived, everybody knew I was there. I was like Passamek used to be. I used to be like this. Attention. I was craving for attention. And I suffered my teenagehood. This program would not be enough to tell you how much I cried. But I cried tears of sorrow, because I always loved the wrong person. I don't know if it happened to you. I always loved in my way of seeing, the most beautiful lady. But they never loved me back. People who have void, they suffer a lot. They are slave of validation. They want validation. That's why they put, if they have large breasts, I beg your pardon, they wear those shirts that can be sensual, can show just not everything, just a little bit. They are craving. I don't mean disrespect, but that's how it is. That's how it is. This girlfriend we used to sleep together, she had a mini skirt. She was naked. And we would walk in the streets, we would go everywhere. She was naked. She would walk and people would see her underwear. But she was also craving for what? Attention. So people who have a void, they are slaves. Slaves. You know the type of slaves from Egypt, yes, being whipped, flogged. That's who you are. Except that you don't have a whip on your back. You have your dressing code, inappropriate dressing code, inappropriate relationship, inappropriate everything. When God comes in, then everything changes. I can go now. I spoke a lot.
Some great memories there, Bishop.
Great! Terrible! Terrible! I never, you know, that was 1 month of wage. Everything went just like this. And next day I had to borrow money to go to work because I bought this cursed Snoopy.
Bishop, I had a question here. I remember it. That someone was asking, what was the most difficult part of your teenagehood?
I just said. I can't tell you how many times I cried in my life that I loved always, but I'm talking about love. Maybe that's not the best word. Maybe passion.
Infatuation, Bishop.
Huh?
Infatuation.
Infatuation. I had it. I would walk in the street looking at the ladies to see if they were looking at me. And always I would love the wrong, be infatuated.
Yes.
Huh?
It's infatuation, Bishop. You're infatuated by the wrong person.
Always. Always. I can't describe with words how much I suffered. But I cried. But sobbing to go like this, cry, tears, and then after, you know what I would do? I would slap myself, like my face would and scratch my face, and I used to hate myself because I never had someone to love me back.
Today we have people who slit their wrists, Bishop. They self-mutilate.
If I was today in this life, I have no doubt I would be cutting myself.
Others, they cut their legs because they don't want
I
to
would be
show
cutting. I
wrists.
would be cutting everywhere. I would be cutting my stomach. I would be inflicting pain because I used to do that. My teenagehood was a mess. Was a disgrace. And I didn't have anyone to talk to. I couldn't talk to my father. My father was absent. I couldn't talk to my mother. She would not understand. I didn't have friends. I had nobody. It was terrible. Listen, it was terrible.
It's awesome, Bishop, that you're sharing this, because many young people, when they see a pastor or bishop on the altar, they think that
They never know what they're going through.
don't know. They think that you're preaching and you don't know. Like, no, Bishop doesn't know what I've.
testimony.
Exactly.
Exactly what we went through.
And if we take certain issues like you had a void, today they have.
No, let me tell you something here.
Comes another one.
Let me tell you something. One day, I never told this to anybody. My wife knows. One day, I was now auxiliary pastor. And this lady, she was assistant with me. She became assistant with me. But then she's the one who said, when the pastor called me to do the work of God, 1988. Were you born? 1990.
I was born already.
Were you?
Yes, Bishop.
1988. Were you born? It was November. Then she said, you only go in the work of God before you get married with me. See, the devil, he was preparing already my destruction. But then we broke up. I broke up with her. And then she called the church to speak to an assistant who used to be her friend. But when she called, there was an extension. When I didn't know who was calling. I took the phone in the office, and the assistant took downstairs. And then I was listening. And she was saying, I'm missing him a lot, and I'm in love, and she started crying, and I was there just listening. But now my life changed in the sense that I was looking up to Jesus now. I was still doing bad stuff, you see, listening to the conversation of people. But then I started dating. Almost 1 year after, I started dating who today is my wife. Guess what I did? Guess. I went to introduce my girlfriend to my mother. And this lady used to work in a shoe shop. I got my girlfriend. No, like this. I went like this. Walking the streets. For her to see. Because, she cursed me. She said, I would never be happy. I would not have someone. Ladies, when they are upset, they are like cats tied inside of a bag. They go crazy. Did you ever try to get a cat and tie him inside of a bag and close it? They go, yow. She went crazy. yow. And then I went. My girlfriend then, she didn't know. I didn't say anything. After I told her. What's like this? Just to teach her, I was stupid doing that. You know, this is not the type of thing that we should do. But just for you to see where we come from. So today I'm 52 years old, but I started in the church, I was 17. 17. And when Jesus entered my life, all of this finished.
Yes.
I stopped this, you know, going crazy about ladies and fall in love with everybody. I remember I prayed to God and I said, I will only date the one who is going to be my wife. I am not going to date anybody. It was my challenge with God. And my wife doesn't like when I say that, but we are married for 30 years. She said she gets upset because she says, I didn't sleep with you before. We are 29. Yeah, but I know her for 32 years. But it feels like 30, if you know what I mean.
Yes, Bishop. Yes, Bishop. That's true.
So, yeah, that's pretty much that. You can, you know, do anything you want to fill that gap. It's going to be filled up for a very short period of time. A month, 1 year, 6 months. And then it's addictive. Validation is addictive.
Yes.
Because you only do what people like. And a proof of that, it is you. Since you started hanging out with those guys, you changed your hairstyle, you changed the color of your hair, you changed your clothes just to fit in. You know what's the name of this? Gap.
And there's a very interesting comment here from your wife, Bishop.
She's watching. Koskazi.
Bishop, we did invite her as well to come down.
She says, when you have
It is she.
when you have a need to fit, to curb for the void inside, you expose yourself to the extreme, and every rejection deepens the void.
Yeah.
You show vulnerability, and many will see an opportunity to take advantage of you.
That's it. That was that Tokoloshi took my Snoopy, my salary to buy that Snoop. That Tokoloshi. Exactly that. You become vulnerable. You become vulnerable. That's it.
Ah, Miss Mas again.
Hey, Kosikazi.
She says 29 only. Wait until February 2021. If Jesus does not come back until then.
True.
We have a very interesting question here, Bishop, from Michelle. She says, what can you say, Bishop or pastors, about people who always want to pull people down, who always see the negatives on people and never give compliments to others? Is it that they don't feel good about themselves? Is it that they have a void? What is it?
Probably they are very unhappy. We never know, but usually they are not happy themselves. And do you know? Do you want to test? Do you want to learn a test of friendship? Go to your friend and you say like this. You know, my life is miserable. I'm suffering a lot. He's going to touch your shoulder like this or give you a hug. Say, no, don't worry. You know, life is tough and so forth. Wait for a month, then you go back to him and you say to him like this, oh, you know what? My life is so good. I'm winning. I am prospering. My life has never been so better. And he's going to say, hey, you're getting proud. Huh? Mm-hmm. Fake friends, they get very annoyed by your success. and they get very sympathetic with your misery. The fake friends. Okay? Those who are fake, they are happy when you are suffering more than them.
Yes. Makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm bad, but he's worse. But when it's the other way around, when you succeed, and you go above him, he's going to do all he can. But you know, I like to call it provocation. Provocation.
Yes.
Yes.
Provocation.
Yes, Bishop.
Provocation is like a poison. If you accept it, it will destroy your life. It's like poison. You drink, you die. If I have here poison, this is poison, but it kills. But if I don't drink, so people who provokes you, who puts you down, who makes your life miserable, usually they are very insecure. They are a loser, usually, okay? 99% of people who attack you, who disrespect you, who put you down, they are losers themselves. That's the bottom line. They are very insecure. Very insecure. Okay? And animals in the jungle, when they feel insecure, they attack. They attack. That's how it is. So people who are attacking you, disrespecting you, they are trashing you, they are making fun of your body type, of your height, of the color of your skin. These people are losers. Don't waste your time with these morons. Morons. They are morons. Don't waste your time with them. Okay? Just give them rejection. Leave them there. Move forward. Move forward. Because the fact is, you are going to do great. And they will have to clap their hands to you. And one day they're going to be even your employee.
It's true, Bishop. And it's interesting because nowadays, this kind of stuff, people who try to demoralize others or, belittle someone, today it's got to the extent of like what they call cyberbullying, where a group of people will go and, for example, raid someone's profile on a social platform.
I'm one of them. They are full of people there making. You can cyberbully me as much as you want. Make me famous. Because you know what? The one who made David famous was Goliath. Was the problems. You know these people making a lot of profiles about me and the Universal Church. You're just making us famous. Did you know that there are people who came to Universal Church to see if it is true and they got converted?
Yes.
So keep doing it. It's uncomfortable. I don't watch them. I even stopped going to Facebook because these things make me angry. But you can do whatever you want. If you are going to live your life depending on what people are saying of you, you are going to die. You are going to die. You are going to be miserable. You are going to you're going to go pambene.
Pambene.
You're going to go crazy. You are going to end up in a psychiatric hospital. Psychiatric hospital. You're going to be admitted there and they're going to be laughing of you. Just move on. Live your life. Live your life. The more they beat you, the more they beat you, I mean the cyber attack. The more they persecute you, more you are going to grow, more you are going to be happy. And then tomorrow they are going to have to applaud you. They have to, it's him. Him who? That lady, we used to call her, what? Give me a name, something.
Boring.
No, this is too polite.
I know in
Something in school. Something they say in school.
In school, they say uzenza ngcono.
I don't know what's ngcono.
There was a guy who had a funny shaped head. They used to call him square head.
Square head. They call square head, big head, small head, no head, a lot of head. I don't know. They're going to say, Is him, is him. Is him the one who we used to call him small head? Big head, square head. Let me tell you something. I have something else to one day, it is real, okay? Member of the Universal Church, they in the United States. It's real. It happened about 15 years ago. She went to the church to get a prayer because she was going to a job interview. Okay, so she dressed up. She was dressed to kill. Is it how he said?
Yes.
Huh?
Dressed to kill.
Dressed to kill. Then she went in, very skyscraper, very high building. She went in, you know those big lifts, you know those large ones. Lot of people in. As it is going up, that the lift is getting empty and empty and empty. Then was left about 5 people. She was there, and there was an old man but short guy. You see, like if I'm standing next to Wandili, you know who Pastor Wandili is? Pastor Wandili is tall as long as I'm not around. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That type of thing. She was tall, and this man was like half her size. And then he looked at her, gave her a smile, and said, "Are you coming to work here?" But he was polite, but he gave a smile, and she thought he was flirting. He looked at her and said, "None of your business," and closed to her face. Guess. Last floor. Who was inside? Only the 2 of them. Then she went ahead and didn't know where the old man went to. Then she went to the reception, introduced herself and said, "I came for the job interview," and the lady said, "Wait, Mr. So-and-so is going to interview you. He's the owner of the company." Then she waited about 10 minutes. She was called inside of the bedroom. Guess who was the owner of the company?
Short man.
The same guy.
You know, here in South Africa we say church. The short man. Now, guess, did she get the job or not?
Definitely not.
No, she didn't get. She didn't get. You see, the moral here, and this is factual, okay? The bishop who was there in the U.S., who prayed for this lady, told me. She went back to the church after to ask for prayers, cry, and so forth. But I mean, this is powerful. Huh? This is very powerful. So when people look down on you, don't worry. They look down on you today, tomorrow they are going to remember you. You might forget them. You might forget who they are, but they'll never forget you. Yeah, that's it.
And this is so relevant because nowadays young people, Bishop, they go paranoid because of what others think or say about them.
Mm-hmm.
They go paranoid. They can go to the point of killing themselves because of the lack of acceptance from others, what others say, what others think, what people say about them, because they're not accepted into that clique, because they're not accepted into that crew, they're not accepted into that group. They can go as far as even committing suicide. So what you're saying is very relevant for any young person who desires to be successful in life. Bishop has covered in love life, in one's spiritual life, in one's professional life. If they apply this and are shut, they shut their ears and are deaf to the negativity around them,
Yeah.
they can reach anywhere.
Yeah, Sino Vuya
Yeah.
says here, when we reject fake friends, they become like a step to the next level. They elevate us into May so that we can be higher than before.
Yeah, true.
We have a question here, Bishop, from Kitumetsimpo. She says, wow, such wisdom about friends. Thank you. I think we also need to check if we are not fake to others also.
Mm-hmm.
And she's asking now, how do we respond when others are blessed or when others succeed?
Well, you can do two things when you see others succeed. Find out what they did to succeed. Just be careful there, because there are people who are succeeding on account of dishonest conduct. Okay, and this is a very shallow ground. They succeed today and they lose everything tomorrow. But if there is true success, there is honest, well, I've never seen people succeeding on good luck. I don't believe in business life, people don't believe in good luck. They believe in hard work. They believe in dedicating themselves. If go and find out what winners are doing. Read, study, apply yourself. Do the best you can. Do the best you can. If you do that, you are going to make a difference. You're going to stand out. It is not a matter of good luck, being privileged. It may take a while for you to succeed. It will probably take a while. But, as you knocking your head against the wall, you falling, you are trying, that's not working, you are learning, you are gaining experiences. You are, we live in the era of data, information. You are collecting information. This is not good. This is not appropriate. It happens to me. I make a lot of mistakes until today. Until today, I do things that someone points it to me, Bishop, you did this. My wife is the number one. Why did you do this? And I go thinking about that. I get very upset, but you know what? I'm collecting information. I know what doesn't work. So, come on, you are not 99 years old. You're not going to die next week. So you have a lot of time ahead of you. Go and invest in yourself. Be the best in what you want to do. Don't be the best of your house. This is too little. Don't be the best of your suburb. It's also too little. Also, don't be the best of Johannesburg, because South Africa is 55 million people. Be the best of South Africa. If not the best, be in the list of the top 5, of the top 10. But that requires dedication, sacrifice. Toss your video games. Many of you are wasting your time with video games. Toss them out. Dive in the books. Go to read. Invest in your profession, and put into practice what you're learning. It's not going to work today. Tomorrow is going to work. So you invest, and you are going to make it happen. I'm sure that's going to happen.
Yes. And Bishop, the other day, when we were before the lockdown, I asked the youth here in Park Station, give me the name of one young person who is inspiring people in South Africa. And Bishop, they failed to give us one name. So we see that the opportunity is there for them to fight. You're saying for them to be the best in South Africa, which means there is no, at least we haven't seen any competition, anybody there standing to be the best, because...
let me add something there. There are people, there is a number of people. If you read the journals of university and high schools, you are going to see the top... I'm not sure how many they put in the list, but usually there is the top 20, top 10, and there is always the top 3. Okay? The top 3. If you're going to find out what they did to be in that level, usually they don't have time for Facebook. They don't have time. Of course, now we have a moment here on Facebook, which is spiritual. We hope to be sharing something very constructive with you. But apart from this moment of faith here, because we can't be in the church, we would have this in the church otherwise. Apart from that, get out of this think of too much social network. Shut this idea of trying to please people. Invest on the most powerful asset that you have. And by the way, the government cannot tax it. It's called brain. Okay, you don't give 16. What is the tax now? 14 or 16%?
It was 14,
14?
now it's 15 now.
It is
15,
15%. The government can't tax your wisdom. It's 100% with you. Invest in your wisdom. Go and not only start, because some of you are gray-haired already. You have 10 degrees in many things, but you never worked. Do yourself a favor. Go to work. Go to put your hands on the plow. Go to work. Go to do something. Apply yourself to make a difference. How many times you're going to fail? I don't know. What I know is you're failing, you're collecting data, you're collecting wisdom, you're collecting information. Have a notebook. Go to the most successful people around you. Ask them this question here. Write it down. Go to university, talk to one of the lecturers, the top one, the director of the university, and you ask him, doctor or professor, if you arrive in the university today, tell me one thing that you would quickly resolve. And tell me one thing that you did which you would do differently. Write it down. I mean, this type of question. Okay, this type of question. Today, I know exactly what I would do differently when I arrived here, back from Australia. That means collecting information. So when you see someone succeed, instead of getting upset, find out what he did to succeed. Go and find out, speak to those 3 people. See that you find their number. Say, listen, I'm here, so. Can you please tell me what you did? How did you start? How did you organize yourself? Write it down. You are collecting information, data, and that is going to help you a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, that's true, Bishop. You know, there's a very famous, what's this? Just a description of the word fail, F-A-I-L, first attempt in learning. And if you ask the YPG if they know that, they'll always say yes. But when you bring it back to them, just to put it in simple terms, I remember that in school, my teacher would say, for you to be the best, especially in math, for example, solve for X, you need to follow steps and you need to practice every day. And if you ask the youth today, what do they struggle the most with? They will all complain and say math, but they only expect to pass at the end of the year, but they don't practice every day. And that's the tricky part of math. And that's life in general, as Bishop is saying.
Practice.
Practice.
There's a very famous story, Bishop, of Usain Bolt, the world's fastest runner. They say that he practiced 4 years for the Olympics to be the greatest ever, and he only ran in total 2 minutes. He's considered the best in the world, the fastest man on earth. He practiced 4 years. He restricted himself from the food he wanted, which means he sacrificed. Instead of going out, having fun, he did not eat the junk food. He did not have fun. He was focused on something which was to happen 4 years' time for the best 2 minutes of his entire life. He's retired now. He's 30-something. He's traveling the world. He's got a lifetime sponsorship with one of the biggest sporting brands. He travels the world. But the fact is that he was focused on what he wanted to do.
That's it.
And another very important point I'd like to mention is that young people have a huge struggle with asking for advice from elders because, for example, the grandmother or the mother will tell them, I think all of us can attest to the moment where we were told, don't do it, but we still went and did it. And we can skip those steps because if Bishop says to me, don't go that way because when I was your age, I did it and I failed in it, I can either be like, no, but maybe Bishop, I could, change a little bit. Yeah, Bishop skipped this point. Today, back then, today it's 2020, I could do it like this. So I can skip the step of failing and be ahead if I take the advice from someone more experienced with, and obviously with success with someone.
Pastor Michael is so quiet.
I'm reading the comments here, Bishop. that people comment here. Perfection. Practice leads to perfection. The other one was saying here that there are people that steps on the other, and it's not about the person, but it's about themselves. I was listening to Bishop. They behave in such a way due to the void inside of them, bringing back the theme of the void. There are people that they wouldn't follow the advice of Bishop, as Bishop said about succeeding. Go and check what they've done, how much they sacrificed. But they don't do that because they avoid, so end up being jealous, end up envying others instead of following the advice of sacrificing daily. We know for a fact that if one practice someone for 21 days, practice something for 21 days, sacrificing constantly for 21 days, you easily, how can I put it, develop.
Becomes a habit.
Yes, it becomes a habit. That's the word. So that's a matter of taking from there and sacrificing daily and becoming a routine part of your life.
Yes. And I think it's very hard for young people nowadays. The part of having to sacrifice, having to give up that moment. I want to be the best athlete, but then I can't go out with my friends. I need to practice. I can't eat what I want. And they're willing to conquer something great, but they're not willing to take the steps necessary to achieve that greatness.
Well, I was listening to Bishop, and I remembered my days, 18 years when I arrived before coming to the YPG, to the church. I was just behaving like Bishop was speaking about himself, going to the streets and seeking for recognition, compliments, and expecting people to recognize me or look at me like the ladies, and that had to do with the void. I would easily envy my friends or be jealous. And instead of doing what Bishop advised of checking what successful people have done before, I would be complaining about life.
Yeah.
It's true. So for those who think you're the only one going through what you're going through, for example, guys, I'm going to have to hit on this key, Bishop, but it's one of the biggest issues we have is with guys in their challenge against, for example, pornography, masturbation. It's one of the biggest questions we have. And many of them look here at us and they think, as we speak, we'll advise how for them to overcome this. They'll think, you never faced this. No, we've also faced it. Bishop, Pastor Mac,
I was addicted to pornography. And that was because of the void inside of me, trying to fill the void, seeking for satisfaction, trying to satisfy myself. I was heavily addicted, trying to fill the gap.
I have just a short testimony here, Bishop. Tapelo says, "It is deep, Bishop, because same happened to me in a way that I borrowed a friend a key to sleep with a lady, only to find out that it was my girlfriend that I loved too much. That scene turned me into a monster towards ladies."
What? Read it again.
Tapelo says, "It is deep, Bishop, because the same happened to me in a way that I borrowed a friend a key to sleep with a lady, only to find out it was my girlfriend that I loved so much." So he gave the key to his friend, not knowing that the same lady he was going to sleep with was his girlfriend.
And I thought that I was suffering because of the Snoopy.
Then he says here, Bishop,
This is much worse, Tapel.
he says, "That scene turned me into a monster toward ladies. I ended up in jail for rape. I drank a lot, used drugs. I went to school in the mountain and became worse than before.
My God.
Involved myself with wrong company, almost been killed several times." He says, "I thank God today because I am free and I'm happily married now. And above all, I received the Holy Spirit."
We must have this testimony recorded.
Powerful.
Yes,
That is powerful, Tapelo.
yes, that's deep.
I won't speak about the Snoopy thing anymore because this one here is... I'm coming with standard 1 and he comes with university. That is... Did you hear it? This is very strong.
I have a comment from Hertes. He says, "I remember copying an entire history essay in an exam room, and I got a code 3. I couldn't understand until I studied hard and proved my sweat in the next exam. Without copying, and I received 95%.
Congratulations.
From there, I never copied again."
Congratulations. Strong.
As a matter of fact, young people has this huge delay in their lives in terms of succeeding because they keep trying to copy others. And there comes back the thing of today, the void.
Yeah.
I think everybody, I don't know if everyone can say this, but I can attest to, maybe Pastor Mac, the times where things were tough in the exam room and you look at that person who you know.
I actually did the opposite. I'm laughing alone as I'm hearing it. I had somebody who used to copy in class, and I knew that it was time for us to, we had 3 hours to write the exam. So I knew that this person would like to copy, so I'd always answer the wrong ones, knowing that he's copying in pencil. Then he would copy. Then when I looked that it's gone to the next page, I'll raise everything and write the right answer. I hear the guy say he got 95. The one who used to copy got like 3. And then asked, but how, man, I was copying you. How come did you get it? So I'm laughing alone. That's mean.
Bishop, we have another question for you. Goodman Nalla says, sorry, Bishop, if God hadn't saved you, where would you be this moment?
You know, I would be in a mess. I'm telling you. Maybe dead. I wasn't wild, but my friends were very much. They were crazy. And I think it would be just a matter of time for me to follow them. I was a very good follower. I was, I told you I was hungry for attention. So I remember changing my hairstyle. I remember changing the way I used to dress just to fit in. Many people do it these days. I have one brother, he's 2 years older than me. He's in a mess. I'm telling you, he's in a mess. I would be in a mess too. Dead, I don't know, maybe not. But I would be in a mess, big time. Definitely.
Bishop, there is another question here from Motsuedi. Bishop, how does a youth maintain being perseverant?
Complicated, Chief. The same is applicable to youth, to older guys. You have to see what drives you. Not rephrasing, delete. What do you want to reach? What's your objective? Stick to that and keep going no matter what. Discipline, it is the key. Perseverance, discipline, and consistency. These are the keys of success. You can add some more, or you can rephrase them, but it's more or less there. Perseverance, discipline, perseverance, and constancy. Consistency. It's no easy thing to practice. I'm telling you, it's not easy. But as we said, practice brings perfection. Insist. Don't give up. Just keep on insisting. Just keep on insisting. At times you're going to get it right, at times you're going to get it wrong. But keep on insisting. Keep on insisting. Something along the way is going to happen that is going to trigger an idea. And you are going to make it. Let me share something with you that might be meaningful to some of you. If you look at programs of anything that relates to good health, to fitness, all of them talks about 90 days. All of them. Why? Because our body takes 90 days to adjust to anything. So chances are that if you stick to an objective for 90 days, if you make it to 90 days, you won't stop anymore. Unlikely. So set a goal and go for it. Aim big. I repeat, don't be the best of your house, don't be the best of your community, don't be the best of Vets University, be the best of South Africa. If you don't reach that, you're going to be very close to that. But attention, the moment you set yourself to win, you will automatically become lonely. You will be a person of very few friends. You are going to get, if at all, few likes on your posts. Because the moment that you set yourself to excel, you become the 1% of this world. People won't like your ideas. People won't like... For example, if you play video games, you have a lot of friends. If you read books, you don't have friends. Only those who like to read like you read. That's pretty much that. Most people are not setting their mind to be winners. They have lots of friends, they throw parties, barbecue, and nightclubs and so forth. Now, the people who are excelling in this life, they are people of very few friends. Are there exceptions? I am sure they are. Exceptions that will prove me wrong. But apart from the possible exceptions, most people are like this.
Bishop, there is a question here from Prosper. It says, hello, Bishop. A lot of young people are failing their relationship. I want to find out the secret that made you to be married for 30 years.
We spoke about this here the other day. My wife was conducting here radio broadcast in the afternoon. What made me succeed is that I looked for someone who had the same mind that I had. I wasn't attracted physically. I was attracted to the way she used to think. I was attracted mentally. Her thoughts match with my thoughts. Until today is like this. When we talk about food, what to watch, movies and so forth, we have our differences. What I like, she doesn't like, but this doesn't bother us at all because the way I think is the way she thinks. We have the same objective. If not, I would have divorced. I don't know. I wouldn't have even gotten married. So today, fashion, sensuality, sex appealing, women today are much more beautiful than women 40, 50 years ago. If you see the pictures 50 years ago, 60 years ago, women in pictures, they wouldn't even smile. They wouldn't smile. No way, it was inappropriate for a woman to smile. But today women are beautiful, and there are softwares that I studied photography, and they are the models. They are losing a lot of jobs. They are losing money because there are softwares that you get a person who doesn't have all the standards of a top model, but the software will do that. Will remove all the excess and so forth. But the picture must have a code when that transformation is made. So instead of paying thousands of rand for a top model, they just get, this lady next door, take a picture, and then they will just work things out. So, You look at photos there in Instagram and Facebook. So wow, she's beautiful. Hey, she's not. She's just there. You know, they change the nose, the eye color, and so forth. That's why youth are so unhappy. And you know, one day we should talk about this sex, because youth they are busy having sex, but they don't know how to have sex. Oh, do you know how I know that? Because when I interviewed the pastors before getting married, I met many of them who had their sex, they had sexual experience. But when I asked them how it was, how it worked, none of them, no, zero, knew how to have sex, how to enjoy each other. Because this is something for married people. And many of you are there, masturbating, having sex, and you don't know what is to enjoy yourself. You don't know. And you will never know, because that is a blessing for those who are married. One day we should talk about this.
Definitely, Bishop.
Yeah.
Hot topic, Bishop.
I have people here even saying already, yes, Bishop.
Yes, for sure. There'll be comments throughout of the week.
No, they are asking here, let us stick the hangout until 6 p.m.
Now one day I will talk about this. I'm going to come here and we're going to open the book. Of course, with respect, with decency, but speaking in a way that you can understand how bad it is to have sex before marriage. I had sex before marriage and I didn't know what I was doing. The sex happened, I told you. But I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what was going on. I just had that moment and then what? Yeah. What is next? Let us run before my father arrives. Let us run. You know, let us run. That's like this.
Yes. There is one more question here, Bishop.
Oh, it's getting late. Huh?
He's asking here, Bishop, how did you know that she was the one you were going to marry?
No, you're going to ask the question. You see, some of you are very foolish, because I'm watching here the comments. Instead of commenting on what we're talking about, instead of paying attention to what we are saying, some of you are looking for your friends. Hey, so, where are you? I'm here looking for you. You see, then you don't pay attention to what we're saying. And then you knock your head against the wall because you're foolish. We are sharing wisdom with you and you don't pay attention. We have here some very good comments, and you know, some are just putting the emojis. You see they are following. Others, you're so foolish. So foolish. Hey, so, where are you? I'm looking for you here in the group. I don't find you. Meaning you don't pay attention. You are a loser. If you keep with that behavior, you are a loser.
So
Go.
carry on, void, Bishop.
Yeah, they carry on. Voiding.
All leads to the thing, the void.
Yeah, void, I'm here. I want attention. Where are you? You're such a foolish. Go on.
The question is, Bishop, how did you know that she was the one you would marry?
That's what I said. You know, we had the same objective. So my words were matching with her words. My answers were matching with her questions. My questions her answers were matching with my answers. So I saw the objective was the same. I saw. And of course, I had to use my faith. I had to come before God and say, God, something has to happen, you know. And I remember how I used to suffer. So I believe that my faith in God was part of it. Okay, but I knew she was the one because she thought like me. I knew the other girlfriends Because I was in the church, I had a girlfriend. My wife, before we met, she was in the church with her boyfriend. If you know her testimony, she had a boyfriend. But we were not thinking the same direction. That's why I knew she was the one, because of the way of thinking.
That most probably, Bishop, the other girlfriends that Bishop met at first, they were void inside. And usually a void person, empty person.
Everybody is, Michael. Everybody is void. Everybody. And true, she had. You know, she had a lot of it. She had, I had, you had, all of us had. All of us. But I understood that she didn't. You know, that's why I'm here with my wife and she's somewhere else. I don't know where she is and I don't want to know.
Bishop, I think it's...
Yeah, I think it's now we are just feeling sausages. Let's do the closing. Let's go.
Yes. We would like to invite once again for all of you to be back next week. But those of you who would like to grow spiritually, I see some of the questions, they are spiritually orientated. I'd like to advise you. 9 o'clock in the morning, Bishop is conducting the broadcast of the study of Revelation. And I believe many of those spiritual questions, they will be directly answered there. And also for the ladies, some of the questions, Mrs. Marcia will be here tomorrow, 2 p.m. for those of you who would like your answers linked to that. And they're
Before the lockdown, we should talk about the subject of sex.
yes.
Shouldn't be.
We have to talk about this to guide all of you. You know, you're having sex there with your boyfriend. You think that you know what you're doing. You know nothing.
That's true, Bishop.
You are clueless. You are clueless.
And they like to say, Bishop, no, but my friend said I must gain experience.
I must know him before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, from my part, God bless you. See you, I don't know when. Here,
Bishop, always welcome, Bishop.
No. You see, I come here. I come here. I disturb you guys. No, I do. I take over. You know, I go out of the hangout, the void, to talk about Snoopy, to talk about other things.
Bishop, I'm sorry, but everything that Bishop spoke today is actually related to the theme. Always would come back to the theme. Like the
but you know, you young people don't like to listen to Babunkulo. I don't think so.
Bishop, if they want success in their lives, they need to listen to someone who's
Yeah, but you
experienced,
know, you guys know how to talk. You know how to do the job. But one day we're going to come back here. I don't know when.
Tá ligado.
I don't know. Before the lockdown, we should talk about
the
sex.
prayer of agreement. Tá ligado?
Yes,
Tá
Bishop.
ligado.
Yeah,
Gonna keep the
yeah.
Yeah, same here. We won't forget the Snoopy.
Please do. Please erase, delete that. Oh, that was terrible. Anyway, I share my embarrassments as an attempt to show to you, don't go there. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Yes. But the choice is yours.
Thank you, Babunkulo. Okay, from my part, God bless.
I think that's it.
Yes,
That's it, Bishop.
We're done.
Young people just need to invest in their spiritual life. Because today we spoke a lot about the void, how to deal with the void. But as Bishop spoke in the very beginning about the Holy Spirit, the only way for this void to end is by being filled with the Holy Spirit.
That's it. There is no other way. No other way. Profession, career, money, success, fame, none of this will fill the void that you have inside of you. Only God can do that. When God comes in, then finished.
Done and dusted, Bishop.
God bless.